Hey guys, Peter here to do a debut album review, Heavy Tempo, Lupi Amoris, out June 18th on Magnetic Eye Records. This album has 5 tracks, 32 minutes in length, and they are an American psychedelic doom metal band. Now, this album is divided into 2 halves. The first half is super consistent, super cohesive. There's a sense of continuity from song to song, like a passing of the baton, and you really feel like the individuality of the songs promotes the strength of the collective. That's how that first half of the album feels and sounds like. The second half is a little bit more chaotic. From a structural perspective, you see a clear break between the 2 songs. There's no sense of continuity. There are actually 2 songs that feel like they're pulling you in different directions, that have different goals in mind. There's some similarities with the Soundscape, but that's about it. As far as what you get out of these tracks, as far as the atmosphere is concerned, it's really 2 different songs, and 2 songs that have a lot of chaos built within them. Because of this, the album feels a little bit broken. There's no sense of continuity between one side and the other. It's okay because you do have this divide of 2 sides of the same coin, but overall it just feels like it's a really broken record, and the strength that you got in the first half doesn't really show itself in the second half of the album. Now, as far as Soundscape is concerned, this is a psychedelic doom record, and you see that in the overall essence of the album. They really merge these 2 genres really well, and they have different elements that bring one or the other more into the forefront when you're digesting each and every single song. The bass, for example, I love the bass sound on this record, and I always felt like the bass brought a little bit more of the doom into the forefront. It added some darkness, it brought the mood down, it grounded the record, and it made the album feel slightly more groovier at times. So it had an important balance to the overall experience because it made the album feel slightly more robust, and it also gave volume to the overall essence of this record. The guitars feel a little bit more eclectic. They feel like they bring a little bit more of the psychedelic side of things into the picture. They drive the album, they dictate where you're going, and they really help you get to where your final destination is. I like the chunkiness that they have. I like the grittiness that the guitars have, because when you match that with that groundness coming out of the bass, it really makes for a very substantial sounding album. It's a robust record as far as the overall sound goes, and it has an old school approach to it that really matches well with the atmosphere, with the essence of Heavy Tempo. On top of it all, you have incredible vocals that really feel like the glue that holds it all together. This is one of those albums that when you get to the end, it doesn't feel like there was one song where there was something that really broke out of the shell, or something that set the tone or changed things up as far as the vocals are concerned. This is not to say that the album sounds exactly the same from beginning to end, because there are some variations, but overall the picture that you get in your mind at the end of the album is one that allowed the vocals to really be the grounding element, or the glue that held everything together and tried to control this record as best as it could. Overall, this is a good debut album. It just doesn't feel continuous to me. I understand the break, I understand the 2 sides, but the strength at the beginning, or at least the things that I saw as strength at the beginning of the record, were not there at the end. The end became too chaotic for me, considering how controlled it was in the first half, and because of that, it just feels like it loses strength, it feels like it loses power, and it feels like it loses direction as you progress through it. As far as songs goes, I want to mention 3 tracks that were not released as singles. I want to start off with The Wolf. I love the guitar build-up. It sets the mood. The bass adds darkness to the track. A song that simmers at the beginning, that just feels like it's holding itself in place in order to then explode. And it does explode. It gains volume. It becomes bigger. It doesn't change the DNA of the track. You don't feel like the song is going in a different direction from where it started, but the volume, the footprint of the track itself does become bigger, and I like that bigger sound, that guitar sound, that drum sound, and then the vocals on top of it really make this a robust track all around. Next, Isabella. I love the bass and the drums. It sets the path. The guitars are a little bit more dynamic, and you feel like the vocals are trying to keep things consistent, trying to keep things together. Then in the second half, the song turns on its head. This is a track that grows and morphs, and it doesn't stay consistent all the way through. You get a feeling like you're going in one way, and then the song turns everything around and you're going in the complete opposite way, and it doesn't stay that way because it keeps changing, it keeps morphing. It's a song that never stays consistent. It doesn't give you a clear path that you understand exactly where you're going. This song is going everywhere. It's just constantly changing direction. It's constantly growing, specifically in that second half. It's just very volatile and hard for you to really grasp exactly what is happening within it. Then last but not least, you have Howling of the Parthalamian. This is the closing song on the record, and a song that has a very psychedelic sci-fi aroma to it. First glance, when you listen to this song, it feels a little bit outside the box. It feels like perhaps doesn't fit with everything that is happening or everything that you experience on this album. But the more you break down this song, the more you start to see glimpses of things that were within the record all the way up until this point. So this kind of becomes the song that kind of brings all previous 4 tracks together and gives you a sense of finale, gives you a sense of bringing pieces of them into one single track and making that song the closing in terms of creating almost a synopsis of what this record, at least from a sonic perspective, had to offer. This is at Heavy Tempo with Lupi Amoris out June 18th on Magnetic Eye Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.